Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today evening news for Friday, November 24th. I am Mary Claire Williams. The Barbados Police Association has put Commissioner Tyrone Griffith on notice that its members will adopt a more militant approach to long-standing requests for a salary increase next year. Addressing the association's annual general conference this morning, President Mervyn Grace suggested that their patience has grown thin, waiting for a pay rise for the past 10 years.
We shall cease requesting and start demanding our just due. We give our best each day with no adequate remunerations, allowances, and therefore the year ahead will be one of demands for better remuneration and allowances for the rank and file of the Royal Barbados Police Force.
Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite did not make any promises to end their long wait, but he assured police officers that their complaints against too many salary deductions are being addressed by Finance Minister Chris Sinclair.
If you have approached me with respect to the level of salary deductions being made following your receipts of overpayments, I've made representation to the Minister of Finance so that your level of deductions can be reduced. The Minister of Finance just yesterday, and I told him I was going to say this publicly, assured me that he had this matter in hand and that he will address it with his, which should see a reduction in the level of deductions that those of you affected. I don't know how many there are, but I do know that there are quite a few who approached me about the pain and suffering that these deductions have been causing because of the amount of money that they're left to take home on a monthly basis.
And when it was his turn to address the meeting, a passionate Commissioner Griffith stoutly defended the force over the long delays in the judicial process. In fact, he said the police are being used as scapegoats when others in the system should share the blame.
Well, I get the impression sometimes that there is a movement to make the force a scapegoat for the slow operation of the judicial system. And there's a lot of blame to be apportioned everywhere. And I'm sure that there are many very serious matters before the court where there are files many years old that are not being addressed, and yet when there's an assault case that is dismissed, that is highlighted. And I think that we need to be fair if we are to address the whole issue of delays in the court system.
In other news this evening, Commerce Minister Donville Inniss may not be dismissing the preliminary International Monetary Fund's report this week on the state of the economy, but he says he does not believe the Washington-based institution should be telling government how to address the country's current economic problems. At the same time, he took a swipe at two of the newest members of the Barbados Labour parties, suggesting that the IMF report concluded that the government's measures are failing.
I don't need the IMF to tell me where we've gone wrong, or where we're going wrong, or where we're going right, or where we're going right in Barbados. So I'm not for one going to dismiss their perspective. I think that the government has outlined a plan forward. It is being reworked, and I hope that in a few weeks' time the Minister of Finance can more frontally address some of the concerns that may be raised. You know, we read the IMF report and we will throw our hands in the air. I said, no, we need to redouble our efforts, do what has to be done, and get Barbados on a sustainable path for development.
One candidate for the ruling Democratic Labour Party is defending Education Minister Ronald Jones, who has been criticized this week following a cutlass attack at the Ellerslie Secondary School. One student suffered a severed finger and a partially severed finger as a result. And President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redmond, has said that the Ministry of Education is failing to take decisive action against the scourge of violence in schools. But social activist and DLP candidate for St. Michael Southeast, Rodney Grant, today labeled Redmond's statement as disingenuous and said the unions must take some of the blame.
The unions themselves got to take some of the blame for sometimes pushing for things that are unreasonable. Okay. Because they themselves create conflict and and tension in society by making people believe they can get things that don't exist. Right. So we gotta stop preparing people for things that are not reachable. That in itself create tension. That in itself create conflict. So the unions really need to sometimes check themselves. We got more work together, and that's one of the problems with the society. Too much individualism. Well, we can't resolve the issues that we face as a nation unless we get to that point of collectivity. We need to build a collective nation and find a way to work together. We were a small country. There's only one Barbados, not 3 or 4 of them.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Keith Rowley today warned that his government will not tolerate lawlessness, and he instructed security forces to take any and all resources to maintain law and order. Rowley told a news conference that Thursday's action by residents of the Beetham community just outside the capital could have been worse if armed police had taken action to protect their lives and that of innocent people. Beetham residents blocked the roads after 2 community leaders were arrested, but they were later released. Their action led to traffic jams that lasted for hours, and some motorists reported their vehicles were hit by stray bullets, and police said they also received reports that motorists were robbed while they were stuck in traffic. On the international scene, at least 235 people were killed in the deadliest insurgent attack in Egypt today. We get the details in this Reuters report.
Witnesses say a bomb struck a mosque in the town of Bir al-Abed in the North Sinai region. Scores of gunmen set up outside the building in off-road vehicles, then opened fire on those trying to escape, and rescuers rushing to the scene. More than 100 are also reported wounded. There's been no immediate claim of responsibility, but Egypt's battle against insurgents in Sinai has worsened since the 2013 revolution and now includes members of Islamic State. Attacks have expanded past military and police in the desert into cities and civilians. Houses of worship for Muslims and Christians alike are targets, such as this year's Palm Sunday attack on a Coptic church that killed some 47. They've also targeted local tribes viewed as collaborators. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has declared 3 days of mourning in the country, vowing vengeance on the perpetrators. Security sources tell Reuters the military conducted airstrikes in the area around the mosque just hours after the attack occurred.
And finally, panic erupted among shoppers on London's Oxford Street this evening as armed officers responded to reports of shots being fired in the area. But police later said they found no evidence of gunfire or casualties. Oxford Street was crammed with shoppers taking advantage of the Black Friday sales when the incident occurred. London's Metropolitan Police said in a statement they had found no evidence of gunfire, casualties or suspects. And that's news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good evening.